morning, video games. Welcome once again to Filthy Casuals, a podcast about video games hosted by three very kind and extremely knowledgeable boys. Thank you for joining us. My name is Tommy Dasilo. With me as always...
Hey Tommy, it's Ben Vanel here, and with me as always...
Hey Tommy.
Really full of energy.
Yeah, I'm slouched over.
Yeah, you look like you're angry at your son.
I am, but I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah.
He's not why I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
My name's
up all
Adam
night.
Knox.
What were you doing up all night?
Just think about my son. Tommy, you're coming to us from a tropical island that you are currently stationed in with what I believe I could hear before was a significant audio delay caused by your dumbass brain taking forever to interpret language.
Your brain's so small that it's so far inside the skull that the sound has to travel ages to hit the brain. That's the issue.
Right, my brain is beyond the little cartoon of a cow that when I have a thought, you kind of zoom in and get an X-ray view of my head.
Yes.
And you see the little 50s style cartoon cow trying to interpret the message.
Yeah.
And then he takes it to the brain. And so every piece of information I receive takes a good 5 minutes from it happening to me actually understanding what's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what you just said was relevant to what we were talking about 11 minutes ago,
Exactly,
but sure.
yeah. We have to keep doing this. We have to keep checking back in on what we said
There's
earlier.
a lot of editing that goes into
Yeah.
the production of this podcast.
Oh, yes.
So I am I'm in exile at the moment in tropical island. Do you guys want to do a fashion report? Do you want to describe to the people what I'm wearing? Because we are doing this over video link.
Sure. Well, if you're in exile, I'm assuming Napoleon-style old-fashioned onesie rags that they used to have back in the French days. I mean, France still exists, but you know what I mean. Who's there in exile with you?
Just all the great political prisoners.
Sure.
Assange, he's here with me.
Whoa. How's he looking?
Yeah. Assange and Pammy Anderson, they're in the next bungalow.
What are they wearing?
You would have seen videotapes. You can use your imagination.
Yep. She's wearing a shirt that says Free Pussy Riot, and he's...
He's wearing a shirt that says free pussy.
Nah, boys, I'm in some swimmers and naught else. How do you feel about that?
Damn, that is the opposite of us. We're both in plaid shirts.
Yeah.
The warmest thing that a self-conscious man is allowed to wear.
Yes, accurate.
I've got my comfy tracky pants on.
Yeah, wearing my black jeans, my signature black denim.
I've got some $17 slip-on Kmart shoes on my feet.
Now, can we head back north a little bit, Knox?
I'd love to get a little warmer up towards the equator. Yeah,
Let's do it. Where's your shirt from?
Good question. I've had it for a while. Target, I reckon.
Okay, all
It's
right.
cheap, sort of red and white. And black.
Like an Italian tablecloth.
Yep. Covered in pasta. I did have pasta for dinner before. It was disgusting. It's a pretty simple one. Creased sleeves from being rolled up, but they're down at the moment to maximize warmth.
Yeah, smart.
Ben, yours is yellow, blue, and a little bit of magenta.
It's a nice plaid, this one. I like
magenta with a tip of the hat.
I was gonna
M apostrophe gender.
Yeah.
Yes. I was gonna say mine's from Uniqlo, and I highly recommend it.
Right.
It's a good shirt. It's very comfortable. It's very soft, very warm.
Now, what if I need more than one clo? Where am I going to go then? Buy clo?
Uniqlo, I guess. Yeah.
What a joke. Right early out of the gate.
Yep.
I've absolutely done it.
Yep.
I think we're all tired other than Tommy. He's Tommy's on holiday. We've both worked today.
Yep.
I've been on my feet all day. And let me tell you, I hate my feet. They do not do the job.
I've been on someone else's feet all day. I'm feeling great.
Yeah, how's your new job as an acrobat?
It's good. It's good, yeah.
Tell me what you've been doing a lounge, Tommy.
What have I been doing today? I got on the motorbike that I've hired. I went for a little ride around the island I'm on. I went for a run along the beach. That was very nice. And then I had a little bit of lunch. And then I came back here in preparation for talking to my two friends over the internet.
God damn.
Wow.
And yeah, the internet there is cutting out, hey. So if we missed something that each other said, some people noted you were relatively quiet on the last episode. And I think
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, you're the strong silent type. That's awesome.
The truth is, I am between doing this in Europe over Skype for a bit and then having 1 week back and then now doing 2 weeks of it here, I am absolutely overdoing this show by myself over Skype. It's very hard being on the other end of a conversation. This would be easier if it was just 2 people that did the show and it was one of you over Skype, but having to listen into a conversation of 2 people in the same room is very difficult.
Yeah, if it was just a phone conversation between 2 people, that's fine.
But
But
that's common, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, not for me. I prefer to text, but no, yeah, we're looking forward to having you back, Tommy, for good.
And then 5 weeks later, I'm going to go to Edinburgh.
Yeah, and then about 5 weeks after that, I'm going overseas.
But no, I mean, we are lucky that we live in a time where it is doable. But yeah, I last week, it's hard to find the balance between not jumping in and talking over people because you can't really hear the conversation properly, and then last week just going, I'll just sit and wait, and then talking about 3 times on the whole episode.
Yeah, we have to learn to throw to you better, I think. That's fair. That's on us.
Well, I'll throw to you, Tommy, so you can give people a description of, speaking of travel, our global world tour on which we are embarking this July.
Yes, so we kick off the tour July the 13th in Melbourne at the Cooper's Inn. We're doing a live show, which will be a bit of stand-up, bit of live Filthy Casuals chat. Then we pack up the suitcases. We get in the private jet. Ben has his pilot's license, so he flies us around everywhere. Our faces are painted on the side of the plane.
My face is painted on the front of the plane, like on the actual nose, like I'm the plane.
Like you're a Thomas the Tank Engine plane.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah,
because I'm flying it. That only makes sense.
There's an anime drawing of me having sex with Hello Kitty on one of the wings. It's pretty tastefully done. You may have seen it if you've ever been up in the sky. And Adam, just remind me, because it's been so long since we've been on tour. What's your painting doing on the plane?
Well, mine is the banner that drags behind the plane, not the painting.
Yes. Yeah. That's right.
And the banner is a full European medieval style banner that they used to wave around to intimidate others in battle.
Yes.
But it's just blue because I couldn't think of anything to put on there.
Oh, great.
And honestly, against the backdrop of the sky, not particularly visible.
No, it doesn't make much of an impact.
No. So a lot of people fly into that banner and get into a lot of aeronautical trouble.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I will say I'm glad that we have the banner now, because initially there was a bit of conflict because we accidentally left you off the plane when we were painting it. So for a long time, what the plane had to do instead was just be constantly skywriting an illustration of your face, just kind of every few hundred kilometers in the air, and that was not an effective way of getting around at all.
Really took a long time because I tell you what, I don't have a small face and I insisted upon detail. But my blue banner represents me well enough, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like, we made the banner like 5 times as long as the plane to compensate for our mistake, but you did decide to have a blank.
Yeah, blue banner, it plays the bulk, turns into the bulk.
Oh, very good.
The bloke.
Yeah, the bloke.
Whatever, I'm running at 50%. Tommy, where do we go after we've done our Melbourne show on the 13th of July?
Yeah, we're still in the air at this point.
Yeah, anyway, that plane takes us to Sydney on July 21, and that's it.
Great.
Tickets are on sale for both of those now. I guess filthycasuals.com.au is the best place to go for links to tickets.
There's a post there that has links to both shows. Melbourne's selling quite fast, and Sydney, we haven't even promoted before right now.
Yeah.
And is also selling relatively fast. So if you want to come,
great,
buy tickets.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to come, just buy tickets anyway.
Yeah.
What? Come on. Come on.
Just fucking do it.
Nah, if you're in a different country, you don't have to do it. But if you are, then you can get the Doom Bandcamp commentary, the Doom movie commentary that we've done.
For the movie Doom.
The movie Doom from 2005. And we'll be putting up another Bandcamp relatively soon.
Yes.
About a little game series.
Yes.
Should we announce this now?
Yeah, sure.
Let's just give a vague clue.
Okay. Well, on an unrelated note, I've been playing Final Fantasy IX.
Oh.
I'm really enjoying it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the show.
That'll be going up relatively soon. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
Well, actually, speaking of...
Who's that? They're not in the room.
Really making him comfortable with just jumping in and talking a lot.
Please do jump in. I'm sorry. Like the fucking swimming pools that you're lounging around.
Yes.
Please, Tommy, jack off into me.
Wow.
I'm happy to call this a 10-minute episode, boys. Let's not get any better than that.
Absolutely.
I was playing a bit of Final Fantasy VII last night, and I'm still pretty early on in that game, but I got up to a bit quite early on where you have to, in order to gain access to a mansion, you have to do a bit of cross-dressing.
Yep.
And it is handled in, as you would expect from a certain part of the world at a certain era of time. Not handled particularly tastefully.
That's really weird, Tommy. I have been replaying Final Fantasy VII as well. I'd started like months ago, and I just happened to get up to the exact same bit like 2 nights ago.
Huh.
And yeah, it's fucked. It's not good. There's also a
It's
segment
dodgy, isn't it?
within that segment where there's like an inn that you visit, the Honeybee Inn, which some news has come out about, I think just today or yesterday, regarding the remake. And that segment is probably even worse than the greater cross-dressing segment.
So I'll read just the headline of the Gamatsu article about it. Final Fantasy VII Remake director Tetsuya Nomura confirms Honeybee and cross-dressing event, new events, dialogue options, and enemies. So that is in the remake also. So
yeah.
It
Right.
it is it's weird.
Yeah, it really it would have stuck out anyway, but it stuck out even more so playing it now that we know a bit more. Well, yeah, that the remake has a release date and everything, and just kind of thinking about, how will that be handled in the remake? Do we know? Is it in terms of dialogue? Is it a line for line? Like, is it 1 for 1, or are they going to veer off and?
So here,
change up bits? Because,
here is the specific stuff they've said from their... it was a Famitsu interview that he did, Japanese video game magazine. So there are quite a bit of dialogue... This is roughly translated. There are quite a bit of dialogue options. We are making it so the dialogue changes depending on your response. So the sheer volume of dialogue has increased. And specifically about the Honeybee Inn. The Honeybee Inn cross-dressing event is still in. We've made it more modern. If we made the facility like we did in the original game, the physical unease would be staggering. So that was no good.
Okay, at least they're aware of it, sounds like. And I guess, obviously, there are ways to do that thing on a very broad scale in terms of similarities without doing it in a fucked up way.
Have a look at the... Oh, my... I like this next quote.
Okay.
We wanted Tifa to have abs, so she has an athletic body type. The ethics department at Square Enix also told us that we had to tighten her chest as not to get unnatural during all the intense action. From there, we got the black underwear and fitted tank top.
Oh,
my God.
Puppy. Yeah, God. Like, it sounds like they have conformed to a non-sexist portrayal, but not by choice.
Well, because of something called an ethics department.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's called the brain, usually.
Or for Tommy, it's a small rooster who's wearing a hat and has a job as a newsman back in the 50s.
It's a little cricket that sits on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, I was saying before, like, that, very of its time, but then remember Breath of the Wild had that kind of dodgy cross-dressing sequence. Like, I think just any time you dabble in that as a feature of a game of like, I'm going to sneak in here by... I mean, I don't know. Could you do it in a way that's... if it's just literally like I'm disguising myself to get in? I think the thing that stuck out for me the most in playing it the other day was that every time you go looking for a wig or a dress or whatever, all the characters that you talk to get those things are going, what the fuck do you want to be wearing a dress for? You're a bloke.
Yes. Yeah.
I guess if the responses to your character doing that aren't too bad, but I just also think it's enough of a topic that's just, I don't know. I think it's probably going to raise the anger of some people either way.
Yeah, I mean, it's only ever played for laughs in that game, and
Right.
there's no reason you couldn't sneak into a mansion as an electrician.
Completely.
So
Because part of it
that's
also...
how I do it.
Change a few light bulbs.
Yeah,
It's fine.
And then I steal their light bulbs.
The part of the original is the Don guy being like, "What? You're a man? Ugh,
Yeah.
yucky." And that is probably the worst aspect of the whole thing. So
It's similar in a way to Persona 5's those characters in there that are like this fucking dumb stereotypical like predatory gay characters,
Right.
which are the worst part of that game. Like there's some stuff with like making fun of people with like gender and sexuality differences to the norm that is stinky.
yeah, and you've referenced Breath of the Wild. That's only a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that was...
So there was a bit of news-
Dodgy.
yeah.
Saying that the reason they're doing a direct sequel is partly because they had so many DLC ideas that they're like, well, why don't we just do a sequel similar to Mario Galaxy 2? Imagine if Breath of the Wild 2 was all like, we had so many more ideas about jokes for when Link is wearing a girl's clothes.
Yeah.
Bleh.
Yeah. It's all about pronouns and girls' clothes. Fuck.
So yeah, but Final Fantasy VII, still a good game.
Yeah.
It's great.
And Final Fantasy IX, Ben, this is your first time playing it?
It is, yeah. Yeah.
How far in? What do you reckon? What's up?
I'm like 3 or 4 hours in.
Uh-huh.
I've got to the overworld map and I've gone to a couple of places. I think I'm in a town now where there's some weird stuff going on with...
A frog? You've not seen a frog? You'd know the frog.
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
Like they're making people and there's like ice mages and stuff. And
Right.
I'm relatively early on.
Yeah.
It's really strange. It doesn't have a very traditional narrative even in comparison to Final Fantasy VII. Like Final Fantasy VII is like, hey, here's a character who you are. Here's a small band of people. Here's a cause. Here's the company behind it. Here's the world.
Yeah.
Here's a whole bunch of it sort of develops relatively naturally. This is, I think, way more confusing. The aesthetic is really strange as well. I like it though.
Yeah.
I'm just finding it really hard to place, like, what is the tone and the style of this game?
I think you maybe have to, it comes in later because it is a lot more of an ensemble kind of thing.
Right.
And almost a, what's the word for when it's like sort of separate chapters? Anthology?
Oh, yeah.
There's one direct, through line story, but you kind of, similar to like Mass Effect 2 or something like that, you get to have sort of a bit to deal with each of these characters thing.
Yeah, right. And I think, because in comparison to, say, FF7, the first 6 hours are like one town, one story. Like, you really get to know these characters and then it opens up. This, it's like half an hour, you're in this one town, and then you escape, you're in some other location.
Yeah.
You find a new town, there's other characters sort of popping in and out and changing loyalties.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I like the active time event thing, where it's like literally cutting between different characters in different locations.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool way of presenting this kind of story.
Totally. And like, it looks good for the era that it's from. The art direction and all that sort of stuff is really, really cool.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Final Fantasy IX is still a very good game.
Yeah.
You prefer it over 7, don't you, Adam?
Yeah, I think it's my favorite one out of them.
Right.
Because it really, like, once, by the time it's ended, it's done so much cool stuff.
Right.
And shown you so many
Right.
weird, kind of unique, different things. Like, it was kind of a throwback to those earlier ones, but they were also a bit weird. And it's not like traditional fantasy type of thing. It's like some strange, like, 1800s Europe type of odd thing.
From a Japanese perspective.
Right.
Which is why I think it's such an odd tone.
Yeah.
It also begins with a lot of the main character going, hubba hubba, look at that princess. That's the only reason I'm
Oh,
doing
boy.
any of this.
Yeah.
She's a hottie.
Yeah.
And then other characters being like, but what do you mean? And he's like, it's okay to just do something because a woman's hot. Like, there's genuinely a lot of lines like that.
Zidane is a piece of shit, though.
He
that
really
character,
is.
like and everyone's like, you're kind of a dirtbag, man. And so his arc does end up being like, hey, stop being a dirtbag, man.
That's good because he's a fucking dirtbag.
Vivi, the little black mage, is adorable.
Yes, yeah, great character design for that. That is awesome. Because I'd never played this initially, but I did read PlayStation Magazine when it came out, and I loved that character design. I really wanted to play it. I just think I couldn't afford the game.
His storyline is really cool.
Right.
There's the knight.
Steiner.
There's the princess. There's the little tiny girl, which I don't think you've met yet.
Probably not.
There's the like Lance woman who's like the bodyguard of someone.
Oh, yeah.
There's
The
Eye
fucking
Patch
queen
Lady.
looks awful.
Big fat
Such
queen.
Great design. Like,
Yeah.
Really, like, grotesque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
I like the
frog.
music as well.
Yeah, the music's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man, Final Fantasy IX's sick. Maybe I'm going to play that again.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm keen to go in after I'm done with 7. It's the one that I like. You're saying all the character design has always stuck out at me more so than any of the other ones as being very interesting.
Totally. Those 3 on the original PlayStation are by far the best of the whole series.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I'm willing to throw it out here now. This unpopular opinion.
But we're going to talk about all of them on maybe on a certain future Bandcamp episode.
yeah. And I'm going to echo the sentiment that things used to be better.
8 has some of the most cinematic sequences.
Yeah.
In terms of the actual direction of it, I think is incredible.
Yeah, that had a sequence that blew my fucking mind back in like 1999 or whatever.
Was it the one
The
from
sniper thing. The assassination attempt was one of the coolest fucking pieces of shit that I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
The original demo for it, involved the students going on their first mission and that thing chasing them up to the boat. That also is fucking amazing.
That game's sick.
It's so good.
Final Fantasy's good. We're going to do some in-depth, deep dive history of Final Fantasy on a Bandcamp episode. That conversation wasn't just a plug, but I've turned it into one.
Yeah.
I am not above throwing in an ad.
You want to know what else I've played recently?
Nah.
All right. I've been playing Tetris Effect.
Oh, sick.
It's so good.
Tetris Effect is fucking
So
rad.
good.
It's really, really fun. I'm loving putting on a podcast and just getting deep in the Tetris zone.
Yeah, it's too long of a name. They shouldn't have called it the Tetris Zone.
Yeah.
But, man, you fucking chuck on those VR goggles.
Yes.
And you jump in there and you don't got no son who don't talk to you no more anymore. That son, you forget about him. He's not in VR.
You forget about the sun as well.
Yeah, he's in AA, not VR.
I should say also, you don't chuck on a podcast, you crank that music up.
Yeah.
Because that also plays hugely into why it's such a fun version of Tetris.
Yeah. It's so fucking put together. It's such a complete... it sounds lame to call it an experience, but it is.
Yeah.
It's deliberately made to be this fully sensory tasting palette. I guess you don't get taste or smell from it.
No.
But if you eat and smell something during playing it...
Oh, we should suggest like a complimentary platter to go with the Tetris game.
That's a fucking sick idea. I want to be a video game sommelier.
Maybe we should do that every week.
That's good. All right. You've been playing Final Fantasy IX. What do you think pairs well with it?
Ooh. Final Fantasy IX, I'm going to say a bowl of chili con carne. And
eclectic, but heartwarming.
yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Satisfying.
Nice.
And a good mix of ingredients. Chuck in some capsicum, a 5-bean mix, as well as your ground beef.
Yep.
And maybe like a nice Tempranillo. Perhaps a glass of red.
Right.
Yeah.
An angry main Matrix character. Tempranillo.
Yes.
Yes. I finished off Outer Wilds.
Yeah.
And I would say that pairs well with a nice pepperoni pizza.
Okay.
And a Mountain Dew. Maybe add a side of Dorito.
Yes.
You can't combine those words. Why am I trying?
Temperito.
Temperito.
Yeah.
Fuck, you can combine them.
It turns out it's very easy.
Tommy, what have you been playing?
Well, Final Fantasy VII, I think, would go well with a delicious Blue Heaven milkshake.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I think it
A
would.
lot
I think you'd have
a kind of steely blue colors in that color palette,
Yes. You could have a meal in a pill because it's kind of like a futuristic cyberpunk game, or a big bowl of greens.
Do people in other countries know what a Blue Heaven milkshake is?
Interesting question.
I feel like that's an Australian thing. I might be wrong, as I am.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Thing.
Let's not explain it.
Yep.
Well, I don't think I've ever had a Blue Heaven milkshake.
No, neither have I. Never been interested.
Because you know what? If fucking vanilla or caramel is right there, I'm going for vanilla if I'm normal or caramel if I'm feeling fancy.
Right.
Ooh.
Doesn't Blue Heaven taste like caramel? I've heard that it's just caramel with food dye in it.
Then I'm in.
Okay.
If I'm feeling
Yeah,
very
maybe it's
fancy.
a mix with blue.
Yes.
Dye in it? Yeah.
Yes.
I think maybe it's a mix. I think maybe it's a mix of the two flavors.
Yeah, right.
No, I think it's probably one ingredient that's naturally sourced.
It's blueberries.
Oh, God. All right,
looking
Tommy,
it up.
what else you been doing? Final Fantasy VII?
Shut up.
No, he's looking it up.
Shut
He's
up.
looking up Blue Heavens.
Shut up. Blue flavor. It's a milkshake topping
Blue
flavor
Heaven-
sold primarily in Australia.
Ah.
Right.
It's blue in color and its taste is commonly described as a mix of vanilla and raspberry.
Whoa. I've never had a raspberry
there you
milkshake,
go.
so...
Yeah. Commonly described. Rarely someone would describe it as chocolate.
Yeah. And and just poo.
What else have you been playing, Thomas?
Well, do you want to... We got a little bit more news here.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
From the week. There was a thing out of E3 not long after we recorded again that not all the Pokemon can be imported into Sword and Shield.
Oh, yeah.
And this has severely pissed off a lot of the hardcore Pokemon community.
Yeah, we got
who
a
it seems
message
like
about
were
this.
And
they were like, please talk about this. People are angry. I hadn't heard about it. I hadn't heard about the furor, and I hadn't heard about the Pokemon aspect of it. Yeah.
It's...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny that, we were a little tepid on everything we've seen of that game so far. And we were sort of saying that, well, I guess if you're like a Pokemon fanatic, they all seem to be pretty into it. They don't care that it just sort of looks the same and everything.
Yeah.
So they were really the only ones that were like super into it, and now they're pissed off as well. So now this seems like it's a game for almost no one.
Yeah, so there are people who I believe it's possible to take a Pokemon that was in Pokemon Red all the way up through to the last most recent main Pokemon game.
Right. Okay.
There were ways of
more or less,
transferring
yes.
them between different generations and figuring it out.
So it's in like a custom, like you caught it in Red, you named it, you raised it, you
all
taught it
its
all its
stats,
moves.
all of its shit.
Right.
That same Pokemon has gone all the way up and through. So the idea that
okay.
something that you've spent 20 years with and had 20 years of this thing moves forward and this is, implied that it will always be the case.
Right.
Their response to it has been like, I can see why people are annoyed. It doesn't personally affect me, so, whatever, but I can feel empathy.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it. So they, the people, the directors of the game and stuff like that are kind of being shitty in a way of going like, well, we always kind of thought this would inevitably happen, that at some point the Pokemon wouldn't, but like, okay, figure out a way to prevent that then.
Right.
They're saying like, well, we don't really have the time to, do you not? Because
It sounds
make the
it's
time.
like, you have a kid, you raise that kid and they change and they evolve over time and it's part of your life and you put yourself into that kid, not literally, and that kid gives back to you. But at some point, about 20 years in, that kid has to go away.
Yeah.
And it's hard. And sometimes that kid doesn't have the time to spend with you anymore.
Sure.
And you've got to be a grown-up about it.
What if that kid, though, Ben, and let me put this in terms you might be able to relate to, what if
and
that
zeros?
kid leaving meant that
Yes.
you had to go from the number 681 straight to the number 683?
What?
And there was a gap in the middle of your list there.
Well, I wouldn't like that at all. It would be really frustrating. Fuck.
That would frustrate the shit out of me too. I don't know.
I probably wanted to stick at that first number and not even progress.
Exactly. I would want to just fuck off this new one and go, okay, red and blue still are gold and silver are the only good ones.
Right.
I don't know.
I can play Sun and Moon. I've still got my son and my daughter named Moon.
Yep.
And that's where I'll stay.
And they're both kind of Hawaiian themed.
Yes. They got into lays and ukuleles at age 20.
Great chip, great guitar. It just kind of sucks, even if it wasn't an inevitability, which it isn't. Right. Because then this brings up something that people who are big into Pokemon have been saying for years, and that you can kind of get a sense of from pretty much the outside, that the people making these games are stuck in old ways of doing things, to some degree not competent in the same way that you would expect a big game studio like that to be. Well, is the accusation that people...
If they haven't had to change, then they haven't had to learn how to do new things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So... But yeah, I get the frustration from people and them saying like, yeah, it's unfixable. It's like, well, it's obviously not unfixable. You just have to make more stuff. Like, it's unfixable if you demand that a new fucking basic Pokemon game be out every single year.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's kind of shitty, and it would definitely bother me if I was more invested in these games.
Yep. No, yeah. I was kind of being facetious. I'm not fussed about this, and I hope people aren't being overly aggressive in their response to it, but it seems kind of shitty.
Yeah. Or disappointing.
It's completely fair to be disappointed by it, given that, when it's a thing that has been a staple of the series, and we're in 2019, there's no technically reason why. Like, technology is better than it's ever been. You could do this a decade ago and you can't do it now when there's no real good reason behind it. And when it's a thing that you established and you're going to now not follow through on it, it's completely fair to feel disappointed. Like, I don't think it's a case where people are getting worked up over nothing. Like, I think, if you care about it that much. And like we said, when they're not really... If it was like a complete overhaul of the series and it was doing all these really, really brand new things, then you could kind of go, well, I guess... those older generations of Pokemon maybe won't fit in as much or whatever, but when it appears to be largely the same game that they've remade a dozen times now, it's like, well, why keep everything else the same and then fuck this one thing off? Like, why let that be the change? And that's what's annoying about it.
They're on the Switch now, which, yes, has more advanced hardware than a 3DS, but doesn't look like their game's fucking using all of that.
No.
And they're saying, like, the animations are more complex and blah, 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 but I bet those Pokemon will come out with their little noises and all that same fucking bullshit that they've had for 20 years and look pretty dodgy for a modern game. So, and like, there's 850 of them or whatever. Fucking make them, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's the game that you made. And if you can no longer make it, do something completely different, which they also can't be bothered doing.
Yeah.
I read a thing the other day that speaks to what you were saying, Adam, about how people kind of say that Game Freak is a bit of an incompetent company. I just read this on a post on a meme page and then didn't verify it anywhere else. And I'm now going to repeat it as if it's fact, a.k.a. the Adam Knox special. And
yes. Very good.
Someone did some data mining of one of the last...
Pretty much, it's me and like 52-year-old women who are the reason that Trump got it. They're like the two demographics that will conduct research in this manner. But
Obama is Satan? Oh, okay, I guess so.
Yeah.
Here's a fact about video games that a washed out picture of a minion told me about.
Cool.
Yes.
It was something about how they'd done some data mining. Someone had done some data mining of one of the last Pokemon games, and a certain Pokemon that you see in all these different areas of the game, when they went into the data of it, there's like, rather than just use the same model every time you see that Pokemon, it has its own new model for every, like, stored in the data for every time that you see it across the world. When the difference that it makes on the screen is nil. Like, it looks exactly the same, but they've built the model again and again and again, rather than tell the game to just repeat the one that they've already made.
Oh, weird.
And just I don't know, someone dug through that and was just like, this shows you how much they don't get how to make games.
Right, that's so inefficient.
Anyone who's like studied it for like a year at university would go, no, you get the one model and then you tell the game to pluck from that model every time this thing is showing up. But they're like, nah, fuck, here it is again.
Right.
I'm making a movie. There's 14 scenes.
Yeah.
I hired Ryan Gosling for the first scene and he did it. Fuck, we need to make the second scene.
Oh, yeah.
We can't get Ryan Gosling again. I'm too embarrassed to ask. So hire an actor who looks exactly like him.
Yes.
And then we'll film it with him. Fuck, I should have hired a third actor.
Why don't you get a new guy and we'll plastic surgery his face to look like Gosling? That's the way to do it.
Got it. But sometimes, randomly, that guy shows up with inverted colours.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dumb. And like...
Missing goals.
Honestly, that sounds like such a sick movie if it's like scene by scene. The appearance of the actor changes just a little bit. Right. Yeah, but that's just completely different people playing him.
Yeah, that's true. They don't look anything alike.
Well, if you're listening at home, I believe we've lost Tommy here. Oh, there he is. And I nearly called him Commie. Which he is.
You damn pinko.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
And it makes me less interested in that game because not that I've ever done it, I don't think, even in the originals.
No.
But that idea of completing that Pokedex and filling in each of them little blank spots, very appealing.
Yep. I like it now to be a contrarian.
Contrarian is my least favorite Pokemon. That's Contrarian's noise.
That's contrarian's noise.
Actually.
There was also a trailer and some more information during the week of Dr. Mario World coming out for the iOS and Android on July 10. Ben, you're a big Dr. Mario fan.
I am.
What do you think of this?
I'm a huge Dr. Mario head. Yeah, I'm into it. It's a fantastic game originally. It's one of my two favorite games for the NES, that and Super Mario 3. I'm totally into this. I haven't watched the trailer yet. But I just saw that, there was more news about it, and it doesn't matter to me because I'm going to get it anyway.
So it's not the same gameplay as the original.
I did hear that.
It's pretty different. It's pretty Candy Crush.
Yeah.
It's a lot closer to something like a Candy Crush than to Dr. Mario.
Which doesn't bother me because I love Candy Crush as well.
And it's got the your hearts are your number of plays and they recharge every half hour or whatever. Very mobile game stuff. Doesn't really bother me too much either, just because... it's kind of what I expected them to do.
Yep.
But yeah, it looks like it could be a fun little puzzle game.
Yeah.
Ben is now tilting his phone to the side to watch the trailer for Dr. Mario World.
I'm watching it now. Oh, there's little bugs. The little virus boys are there. Oh, yes.
They've got shit voices, though.
Oh.
That's one aspect of the trailer that you can't get without the volume, is they're like...
yes.
Oh, hey, don't get rid of me. Like, just terrible, terrible voices.
I'll be playing it with sound off. Okay. Yeah, this looks good. I'm still into this.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Puzzle games on the mobile, always a lot of fun. Looks like there's some, cool different stages and stuff in this. They've done a good job of, rather than just port over the original Dr. Mario, like they've actually tried to give it progression and bit of flair, mix it up a bit.
Yeah, there's like
it looks great.
Some different functions, some like bombs and Koopa shells and stuff. Yeah, this looks really fun and super well presented as Super Mario Run was as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So July 10.
Whatever.
July 10. We can review it on our Melbourne live show. Buy tickets now at filthycasuals.com.au.
I have played a couple of games. 3, to be more specific. I finished Outer Wilds, which I mentioned last week and talked about the week before.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing game.
Yeah, you were effusive in your praise for it 2 weeks ago.
And I am effusiver. My name is Effusiver, Lucifer's brother, my original character that I came up with.
God.
It's such a good game. It's my favorite game I've played this year. It is beautiful and thoughtful and intricate and detailed and clever and absolutely fucking gripping from start to finish.
Wow.
I really like everything about it.
Gotti a contender.
I got it. That's what you said, I assume.
Yep.
yeah, if you can get your hands on it, try and play it because I think it's very good.
Call it John because it's Gotti. You know,
What?
like John Gotti, the someone out there will like that.
Okay. Call it
If you're that person, please let us know.
We're very worried about you.
call it a 19-year-old wearing thin wraparound sunnies in a nightclub because it's Gotti. Ecstasy.
Ah,
Cool.
yes.
Cool.
Are you going to do one, Tommy?
I don't think there's any water left in this well for me to drink upon.
Gotti.
What? Oh, that wasn't one. You were saying you didn't want to do one.
I mean, we can count it as one.
Call me a
Yes.
famous Spanish architect because I'm Gaudi.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah. Sucking.
What?
Fucking good game.
Sucking good
It
game.
is a sucking good game.
We're saying
Suck my dick, it's good.
And yeah, I really, really like it. Hopefully it comes to other stuff at some point. But I don't know what Microsoft's sort of connection to it is, so maybe it
Right.
won't. And then I played some Dragon Quest Builders.
Oh, yeah.
The first
Tommy's
one.
favorite game.
Yeah. It's really good. It's a good time. The second one's coming out soon, so I wanted to go
Right.
back to this one. And yeah, I'm really having fun. Very simple and straightforward and relaxing. Go get these bricks, put these bricks up,
Yep.
and you're like, absolutely, I will.
Cool.
There's
Happy
not
to
a-
help you guys.
I'm not fussed.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what? I'll help out. You go to sleep. You just go and have a lie down.
I'll build you a bed, then you can have a lie down.
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
Doesn't bother me at
I'm
all.
here to build.
Hey, put your feet up. Go on, put your feet up.
You're starting to sound a little bit passive aggressive.
Hey, go on. No. Fucking, you know what? I'll clean anything up. Shit on the floor.
Your
I don't
Majesty,
care.
have a seat on the throne.
Yeah, no. I could be questing for dragons, but I'll build you this.
Yeah.
I'll build you this.
Yes.
Ugh.
So you love it.
It's such a fun game.
Right.
And yeah, the Switch is
Yeah, it's
perfect
great.
for it. And then...
I just love the conceit of that world being that everyone except you has forgotten how to make things.
Yes.
Sometimes it feels like that around this house. Sometimes it feels like that is what's happened.
Seems like sometimes you build something poorly just so you don't have to build stuff anymore and I have to do all the building.
Oh, you built this, did you? You built it? That's built to you. That looks built. Okay. That's nice to know that is what built looks like
What do you
in
mean
your
you
world.
you can't find the building tools? You probably had a man's look for them, didn't
Okay,
you?
are you building with your eyes or with your mouth? You can't
again,
build anything with your eyes
Sucking
either.
hell. It's good.
Yeah, fun game as well. And since I cracked out the old Switch, I've been cracking down on not playing Cadence of Hyrule.
Right. People are loving it though.
You've been playing some of it too as well, right, Tommy?
Yeah, I've played a little bit. I don't think I would have played too much more than you, but I really like it so far. I think it's great.
It's a fun time. So I played some of Crypto the Necrodancer back in the day, like 2 years ago. Not that much of a day, but kind of rhythm game. You can turn the rhythm off, and like an accessibility option.
So then what does it become? A platformer?
No, it's a like sort of top-down combat dungeon exploring game.
Right.
And
Then so how is the rhythm incorporated?
so the rhythm is more just to give you pressure. So when the beat is hitting, bup, you know what a beat is.
No, I didn't.
You have to move your character in time to the beat so that you have some pressure to make decisions quickly. And if you break a combo, then you have to get a little bit more damage from enemies and deal less
what I was
damage
gonna
to
ask
them. So you've got to keep the rhythm up like that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And the enemies are also moving in time to the beat in various different
Right.
patterns based on what type of enemy they are. So there's sort of combination of matching the rhythm and then also kind of, making sure you're placing yourself on the grid in the right place so that you can kind of sneak up on the enemy and not be hit by them. And yeah. be a bit
You
tactical
have
about
to
it.
plan 5 steps ahead, but because you're doing it in rhythm, it makes it quite tough to see that far ahead that quickly. Some enemies will follow you to the rhythm. Some will try to move ahead of you, Pac-Man style. Some will sit there. Some will move themselves to their different like that. That is the kind of feeling that gets you where you're like, fucking hell. It's like an improv game, one of those sort of things where you're like, I can't keep up with this pace.
An improv game. It sounds awful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, though? Those things where it's like each
I hope no one
person's-
invades my personal space.
Yeah. Each person has to like say the next word.
Right.
But all the Zelda trimming is fucking awesome. It's got all these great remixes of Zelda music. All the Zelda look to it. Every enemy that you're fighting is, like a hobgoblin or whatever the fuck's in Zelda.
Yep.
And it's a really good, legit sequel to that game. That the trimming of another property works really well on it, because the original had good music and all that sort of stuff. But
Right.
it's all original stuff, so the Nintendo-y music is an extra little bit of a kick into enjoying it. I would love to see
I think
them
the main
do
thing
more.
I think the main thing I've seen online about this is that people thought it was just going to be a Crypt of the Necrodancer game with just a Zelda skin over it, and I think people have been very surprised by how much it actually just feels like a Zelda game that just has this weird different gameplay mechanic in it. And yeah, it really does. It doesn't
Totally.
feel like a cheap little DLC thing. It does feel like it could be a Nintendo game, like that they made themselves. Like it feels fully like you're in a Zelda game.
They're working in all these like Zelda-style puzzles of pushing blocks and getting keys and doing whatever, getting little items, fucking jumping around. I would love to, if they do like a Mario one next.
Okay.
So much of a music back catalog to draw on.
Yes.
Do a fucking
Yeah,
do a
that would
Green
be
Day
tight.
one. Fuck it. Go Rock Band style and go full on
Do
like
the American Idiot story. Like the rock opera.
The Jimmy the Jesus,
Yeah.
whatever his name was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus of Suburbia?
That's the guy. I think his name was Jimmy.
Yeah, it might have been.
And
Get Billy Joe into Smash, and then next step.
Fuck yeah.
that'd be so good. What would Billy Joe's attacks in Smash
He'd have
be?
strong arms. That's for damn sure.
Billy Joe Armstrong.
Huh?
His taunt would be putting a bit of dookie on the ground.
Ooh.
Kazooie would come out of his backpack.
That was the bass player.
Yeah. The bass player character is Mario. Bass player. Bass player.
Yes.
Bass player.
I still don't get it.
Yeah, look, it's not for everyone. Cadence of, the
here's
Mushroom
something-
Kingdom.
Here's something I forgot to say last week. We were talking about the E3 conferences and how a lot of them were quite tedious with having the audience hooting and hollering all the way through, and then Nintendo's being a bit of a breath of fresh air because it was all pre-edited and stuff. But then I went and looked. I made the mistake of going on Twitter and looking up fan responses to Banjo being announced as a Smash Brothers character, and people watching it live and reacting live to seeing it. And my God, some of the worst stuff I've ever seen on the internet. Just truly awful stuff.
That's a shame. Sorry, I had an idea just then for a fantastic... I don't have any programming ability, but what if someone made, you can do the auto speech reading out things on a computer?
Yes.
Text to speech. What if you did one of them, but it was all Banjo-Kazooie voice? So whenever you loaded up a page, it would just come up with a thing down the bottom that was Banjo's face going... I
like it. You should do that with your programming skills.
There was a polar bear that went Of that sort of shit.
So one of our fans out there, our talented fans who's good at programming, get onto it.
Yeah. Whoever redirected Filthy Casuals World Tour.biz to our website,
Yes.
make me that extension. And don't fucking put a virus in there because I'll download it.
Yeah.
Or I'll not know about it and get suckered in. Sorry, fuck it in. But yeah, Cadence of Hyrule, Good time.
10 out of 10?
You probably got to be a Zelda fan.
Right.
Specifically the 2D Zeldas, really.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a fun idea. I'm looking forward to playing Bloodstained. That's out on the day that we're recording this.
Oh, right. Cool.
Yep.
The Castlevania Symphony of the Night spiritual follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
That looks dope as hell.
Yep.
And I love dope shit.
You know, if they did a Crypt of the Necrodancer of that,
Yeah,
it'd be
of
called
Castlevania.
It'd be called Rhythm of the Night.
Damn. hey, it's your cousin, Johnny. Best joke ever. You know that new sound you've been looking for? Here it is.
And then I say the joke again.
Yeah.
Good shit. I've also been playing FIFA, NBA Live, and Madden.
Did you buy that pack that was on special?
No, I wasted a bunch of money. But what I did do was buy NBA Live for like $10.
Right.
It was on this crazy special months ago, and I've gone back in.
Cool.
I like the EA Sports games. I think they're really well done. And FIFA is, the big flagship one.
Yeah.
And I hadn't played FIFA 19 before this week. Got it. It's fucking great. The story mode's really good. And it's just so tight and well made. I'm loving it.
When a bunch of stuff was on sale over E3, I bought the FIFA 17, 18, 19 trilogy thing because it was like $15
Right.
for all three to play through their story modes,
Yes.
which is apparently a trilogy.
The Journey, yes.
I love a story.
Yeah.
I love a kick of the old pigskin.
Well,
If you combine the two together, you've got yourself a mashup as good as Zelda crossed with Green Day or whatever we were talking about earlier. I'm
Yeah.
honestly so fucking tired.
I played 17 as well, actually. I didn't
Right.
play 18.
Alex
Hunter. You can't skip those cutscenes. Or
Right.
some of them. And
Well,
boy,
why
they're
would you
long.
though? Surely it's soccer in between. If
Yeah.
you want to play soccer, there's other places in a FIFA game where you can do that.
Maybe if you'd started the journey thinking it was maybe a franchise mode or something and were too far in to quit.
I mean, you can burn your finger while you're cooking as well. If you're a dumbass, it's not the stove's fault.
Look, that's fair. I am a good cook, though. It would never happen, so I can't relate to that analogy. But yeah, it's fun. It's really well made. I'm enjoying playing FIFA.
A lot of people angry at EA and, as with many other games and companies, about the monetization and specifically their sports games. I think NBA 2K as well, which is obviously not EA, it's 2K.
It's 2K.
Has some fucked monetization stuff.
Yeah.
For where you're paying full price for a game and then I don't know the details because
There's a lot of loot box stuff with cosmetic things
Right.
in at least the NBA one.
There's some shit in FIFA. I can't remember what it's called, but it effectively worked out to be like a gambling mode. And then people were fucking laundering money through it at some point.
Okay.
Because you could buy these FIFA points and then in some way cash them out.
Right, okay.
And people,
I mean, if there's an economy around people buying the points off other people because they're valuable for
right,
whatever.
that would be it, is they were
Yeah.
selling their accounts.
Yeah, yeah.
And then going like, hey, million FIFA points in this account, buy it for $300.
Yeah, right.
And we'll get some easy, clean money.
Yes.
Laundering money is so cool. Being able to make money seem clean when it was dirty money. I've often thought about what I'd do if I found a big fucking bag of cash.
No Country for Old Men style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whether or not I'd be able to get away with it. And I think the answer is no. I think I'd be found and gutted within a day.
Yeah. I think I'm the same.
I'd love to try.
Yeah. I mean, you just want to feel something,
Yeah. What do you do? Because obviously, from the moment you find the bag, say it's under a bridge, you spot it, you get the bag.
What situation is the bridge in?
So you're walking to work. It's a
Okay.
city bridge.
Ooh.
So like it's over Merry Creek or something like that. It's a
Okay.
sort of inner suburbs bridge.
suburban bridge.
So it's not like, fucking Flinders Street or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's an inner suburbs bridge. No one around.
Over a river or over an overpass situation?
River, because river.
Okay.
So when you go down to get the bag,
Yes.
you don't think anyone will be able to see you.
Yeah, okay.
That sort of situation.
But there's an old man fishing down the stream a little bit. He goes
Yeah.
there every morning, just to
shit.
relax a little bit. And just today happened to see a bag sailing by.
And
it's picked up.
am I the old man, or do I have to kill the old man?
Yeah, he's your witness.
Well, no, I'm not killing someone for money, or I've done it already.
No, but he might tip someone off. You don't know he's there.
Tommy, what do you think?
I'm in the toilet. I'm not listening.
So's this podcast, to be honest. I think it's probably time to wrap up for the week. What do you reckon, Thomas?
I'm just thinking this is a conversation we should save for the Patreon episode that we have to do after this.
How would you get away with finding a bag of money?
$1 million bag.
$1 million
Yeah.
bag. Yeah, all right. Maybe we should save that for the Patreon.
We'll see. I don't know if I've got
We'll
any more
see.
steam in that, because at some point I just have to describe myself being killed by a drug dealer.
Yeah, sitting in a motel room as someone comes to get you.
Yeah. But Patreon is available to anyone who wants to support us there. We have fun conversations and review stuff that's not games every week.
Yes.
On the $10 tier, on the $5 tier, you get to be in our Facebook group, which is really cool. None of it's really, products we're giving you. It's little bonuses if you want to support the show. It really, really is so fucking appreciated.
Yes, which we do appreciate.
Faux sucking appreciated.
Faux sucking.
So all that stuff, filthycasuals.com.au. We also have the live shows coming up. Melbourne, July 13. Sydney, July 21. Those are going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
So come and get behind us.
I can't emphasize enough, if you're one of the people who messaged us privately on both the Facebook page and my personal account to complain about not being able to get tickets to the last one, just buy them now and you'll be set.
Yep.
There's no more
Nothing
seats.
worse.
Here's a little mnemonic device I use to remember. Buy them now, don't miss out. Buy them later, maybe wait till the next one.
That's really helpful.
Buy them soon, maybe okay. Buy them far, nah.
That's the best one.
Buy them middle,
Oh, there's another.
hey diddle. So that one really, I don't know what to say about the middle.
Yeah.
It could go either way.
You just sort of try and distract them
Just
with
like,
a little
oh, hey,
rhyme.
diddle, yeah.
All right.
Okay, filthycasuals.com.au. Check us out on all that stuff, all the socials. Give us a follow. Get on the Patreon. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time, as we say here at the end of every episode of Filthy Casuals.
I'm on the toilet as well now.